Star clusters are pretty much exactly what they sound like. They are massive clusters, or groups of stars. When stars are first born, they develop from large clouds of molecular gas that can form into a very large group. First, the clouds contracted, accelerating star production at rates determined by the starting mass. The higher mass clouds contracted most and generated stars more quickly. Later, these clusters expanded and the clouds dispersed, partly or fully over time, depending on the number and kinds of stars that are present. Astronomers believe that every star actually began its life in a group, surrounded by many other stars of nearly the same age, that only later drifted apart. Astronomers know this because some of these stellar nurseries, called star clusters, still exist today. There are two types of these star clusters. There are globular clusters and then there are open clusters. Globular clusters are groups of millions of stars that are tightly bounded together due to their strong gravity, and our galaxy has about 150 of them. All of these stars orbit the center of gravity at an angle very quickly, much like comets do. Messier 15 is one of these older clusters that scientists are still very curious about, aging at about 12 billion years old. This is a very interesting cluster and is still expanding to this day. The stars we see today in the sky could be hundreds of millions of years old, and they all started as clusters, but then spread out over time. The closest open cluster is actually one of the oldest ones, and it is named Messier 67. This cluster is tens of billions of years old, and is also the most observed open cluster that we know. These groups are not as tightly bounded together as globular clusters, but they can be up to 30 light years across in diameter. Most of these open clusters contain young, smaller blue stars and all have names such as Pleiades and Hyades. Globular clusters, however, are massive spherical groups of stars containing millions of extremely old stars that are tightly packed together. These clusters are mostly containing red and yellow massive stars that are extremely hot. These massive stars aren't much younger than our own universe. Scientists have learned that these stars can form from even larger stars exploding as a supernova. The brightest globular star cluster is even able to be seen by the naked eye on Earth. Astronomers believe that a lot of these clusters are smaller than they once were because the stars evaporate over time due to their interaction with each other and how they're always hitting off each other. We've learned a lot about these stars due to our advancing technology. Scientists still study these clusters to learn more about star evolution. Knowledge of these astronomical objects are also crucial to the understanding of our Milky Way. Scientists have been recording data about these star clusters from all the way back to 1665, and a lot of information has been gained about our universe because of it. Today you've learned that there are two types of star clusters. There are globular clusters and open clusters. Globular clusters being the ones that are older and are more tightly packed together, and open clusters being the ones that are more spread out and contain these younger blue stars. 2, you've learned how these stars form into the ones that we see today. And 3, you've learned how knowledge of these star clusters contribute to the understanding of our universe.